Hello, today we have Angel Medina here, and I'm extremely honored to have an interview with you. Can you tell me a little bit about your background? Where are you coming from? What did you study? And what is your present job now?
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. What I did, I studied biology in the University of Valencia in Spain. And then in the second year, there was this thing at the university that was, you were a good student, you could start collaborating in a lab there. And in that year is when I received microbiology. And one of the things that I realized is that we spent most of the semester speaking about bacteria and how they can produce you diarrhea. And then we had like one only week in which we were talking about fungi. And the lecturer that I had was studying this thing called mycotoxins, and it got me hooked. I applied for that lab. I started going there during the week and in summers, and then once I finished my degree, I asked her to join and have a PhD, which after being there for a few years, it was kind of amazing. I did that, and then I had to leave a little bit science. I started working in companies, teaching about food safety for different companies across in Spain. And then I got a postdoc, and that postdoc was to go to work with Nares Megan, that was working at Cranfield University. So basically what happened is during my PhD, I isolated a lot of fungi from grapes or from barley, trying to find which fungus were responsible for the presence of ochratoxin both in beer and wine. At that time, there were a lot of people around the world trying to figure out that. And I was reading the papers from Nares Megan at Cranfield that said basically that some of the methods that we were using, like putting the fungi only in YIS or putting them in PDA, might not give us a real picture of whether those fungi that we were isolating was able to produce the toxin in wine or will be able to produce it in beer. And that hooked me. And when I finished my PhD, I applied for a postdoc and I went to Cranfield University to work with Nares.
When was this?
So this was in 2009.
Oh.
So I've been in Cranfield now for 15 years and few months. So we started with a grant from the Spanish government, then I got a EU contract, and then the university offered me to stay. So me and Nares have been working for 14 years together, because as you know, so sadly he passed away last year, but we got a great work relationship for all those years. We started just looking at the effects of mainly water activity, and then we expanded to also CO2, looking more at climate change conditions, and this is the work that we've been doing together for the last 10 years or so. So I think we pioneered some of the papers back in 2011 about the potential effect of climate change. In fact, we started working on that before, but we didn't publish until it was like a bit more substance behind it. But that was one of the initial papers about how environmental conditions could make fungi behave in a different way.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Nares Megan, and he was also a very good researcher, a friend, and we spent quite a lot of things. He was very important for the International Commission of Penicillium and Aspergillus. And I'm so happy that you are the successor of his work. So you are now in Cranfield. So tell me about your present job.
So, well, it's very good news here, Rob, because when he was still around, we wanted to expand the group. We wanted to expand the type of work that we did, and we applied for a very big grant from the government in the UK. It was all about, we always thought that applied mycology is something that can help the world, that can help, to get to net zero, that can help with this new green agenda. And we were putting an application for creating a new department on applied mycology. So we got the money and we have
Just
now
recently.
Yeah, very recently. So on the 1st of August of this year, 2024, the Megan Center for Applied Mycology has started running. So we are contracting 5 academics, 5 postdocs, growing the team, and we'll be working now not only in food, but we'll be also working on production of bioenergy using fungi. All these talks that we are listening this in the conference about batteries or energy, mycoremediation, mycomaterials. This is something that we want to explore in the UK, and we are expanding that. And at the moment, I'm the director of MCAM, as we call it, MCAM, and I'm also director of the department, let's say, or theme that we call at Cranfield, that is environment and agri-food. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is excellent news for you. You have to work very hard with hiring all these people.
Perhaps too much.
Too much. Yeah. Well, so I understand that the Cranfield, you have no teaching. You're just doing only research, but
Tiny.
you're doing PhD students, master.
Yes, we do. So Cranfield is the only postgraduate university in the UK, so meaning that we only do MScs and PhDs, which gives, the people working there, it gives us much more freedom perhaps than in traditional universities to do science or to do research. But also it's quite demanding, because you need to be applying constantly, and you need to also try to bring as much money from companies as you can. So it's a never stop environment. So you think, okay, you don't teach that much, but that also has, a different side. And we keep doing a lot of PhDs. So we have around 6-7 PhDs at the same, at every single point of time. We've even went higher than that at a certain point. At one point we had 10 people working, and we were only Nares and myself, so it was not much more. And now we've been lucky also to be able to grow the team. So my team now is like 4, counting with me, and then we are bringing all these new people to the new center.
Yeah, I know that Naresh was really collaborating internationally. He was in Asia, he was in Africa. Are you really also proceeding with that?
That's what I'm trying to do. So
well, that's a lot of traveling and so on.
Keep that alive as well is very important, and this is one of the things that I really loved about working with Nares in Cranfield. That we really, we don't compete, we collaborate, and I think this is the real. One of the main things that I learned from Nares. So we don't see people as competitors. If they have done this before us, because we've been too slow, it's better to work with them and even do more things. And if they done it, for sure it will be something different, something that we can contribute to. And I think that was fascinating for myself.
Well, I think it was also very typical for Naresh, because my experience with, let's say, English mycologists was also a little bit competing. And he was always open. And you're the same.
I'm the same, exactly the same. We
okay,
try to
because
collaborate.
That's nice that you have this collaboration. You always learn, and if you do something, do it together, you will achieve more.
I don't think you have to look science on something that belongs to you, or you don't have this area, this is my area, I don't want anybody else to work on this. Or when you get proposals or papers to review, it doesn't make sense to say, oh no, because I want to do this. That will be very unethical to me. I think it's much better to look at the positive, at the good things. So what can I do with Rob? What can I do with Josh? What can I do with, all these people that has amazing things? I'm an ecophysiologist. So what I do is I try to discover how different environmental conditions will affect the functioning of the fungi from different points of view, how it grows, how it produces secondary metabolites. So imagine the amount of people I can collaborate with. So why am I going to say that I compete with them? It's on the contrary, they can provide me with those fungi, I can provide them answers, then I send them back there, and then we continue the science, and that's how the science will move forward, and we'll be able to do things that I don't know what to do. I don't know everything. So to really provide new data, these new exciting things that we can come to these conferences and explain, that's what you need. And I believe that the only way to do this is collaborating with others, because
Yeah.
it's impossible to do it by
But
yourself.
time is also a factor, and
Yeah.
I know that you are really a scientist rather than a manager.
Yeah.
How will you do this when you have so much money? You have to establish a new institute, and so. Do you have already idea how to
I
do
have
it?
an idea about that. so what I did is I've got a project manager. So what I did is I built the Megan Center in such a way that will still allow me to do the science, or will still allow me the time to go and do those trips, to keep collaborating with people, expanding the network. And what I did is, seriously, I mean, scientists, we don't like the paperwork. What we want is to do the science, to enjoy that. So what I did is I contracted someone to be taking care of all the administration, etc., full time. So she will be taking care of that, and then I can focus more on the science, on building the team, on what's the strategy that we might have, on building the collaborations. And I built it in because I didn't want to lose focus on really what's important to me.
Another very personal question. You are from Spain.
Yep.
Do you like the British weather? And do you are homesick to go to Valencia?
This is one of those answers one of those questions that you already know the answer. So yeah, the weather in Valencia, you cannot beat that. I will describe it most of the time as opposite to the UK. So in the UK you might have 30 days of clouds and rain, 300 days of clouds and rain, and 65 of something good. In Valencia is the opposite, or even better. You have 350 days of good weather and 15 days of bad weather or rain. So weather-wise, Spain will be. However, the opportunities and the opportunity, for example, to work with Nares, the opportunity to work in such a postgraduate environment to do the research that UK has offered to me, I think I will not have in Spain. It's a completely different way of working. I didn't have that much teaching that allowed me to really develop a lot of research and be known for the work that we were doing. So I think the UK has given me a lot, and perhaps it's worth more than the weather.
So with this, I think we can conclude this little interview. And I thank you very much for all the things you like to share with us.
Thank you very much, and it's a lovely pleasure to share with anybody. Thanks.